Sia Kiano Kiano Hea Yasania. This is to release, to activate the free thinking mind, to release the hive mind, as in free your mind from the hive mind. It'll release you from consciousness traps such as us versus them, victim, victimizer, poverty consciousness, victim. I said that. The Matrix, and more. Yahimuna Yahare Yasimusia Yakanen. This is to release you from all traps of desire. Yamiyakia Nahane Isambuse Yahina Niaro Yasia Mishaushe Yahia Niharuhe Yambo Yakiano Yahia Nishause Yayure Yakiano Yahene Ya umbahi ai shaushe ambuye kaimbura ya yasiani ya imbure ya kumbayasi, calling on inner peace, love, healing. This is for physical transformation and healing of all forms. Ya ure cleans the blood vessels, heals all physical illnesses, blood disease, heals transfusions, bacterial infections, viral infections, fungal infections, so on and so forth. Yamburera Yigambushe Yamuhe, viral infections, fungal infections, bacterial infections, heals them all. Yambure, the flu, COVID, Yanihi, yes, Yambure, inconclusive infections, Yarure, removes blockers, yes, somebody, Yanoe, Yakumbali, Yamushe, Yashumbadi, Yahinu, all healing transmission, Yanihi, Yasihamu, Yahiru, Yahinaru, Yakuna, Yanisharu, Yanida, Yanisharu, Yahiru, Yashinaru, Yahiro, Yashikoro, Yanisu, Yamiuru, Hiatianu, Akianoha, Yasiasua, Yamushianiariakoaniamboye, Yairanianashiarohambiasu, Yanianariakumbayisambuhana, Yaihaniarehe Yashiasayandaheram. Eakimbo Yahi. There's an alien species named the Zatrons, and they are a species that are good. They have amazing energy. They're healers and comrades that are not fighters. They wish our species no harm. By our species, I mean humans, hybridized beings, such as myself. They are here with medical equipment. They're here to heal me and to heal other beings such as myself that wish to be the bridge between space, humanity, and other breeds. They know I'm here to help. I'm here to be the bridge between all species and all beings for as long as I live. And that's why the feds are after me, because I'm here to be the bridge. They're a species of good. They wish. Yes, you will. I dream I'm with you. Mbukia nia soya sia soya Korea muya nia kuya miya dia sia soya sia mbukia nia ya ho ya mbusia sia kuya nia ya sia mbuya ya kia no sia musia ria dia fisia sia musia sia kuya nia ha ya musia sia kuya nia sia mbuya yeah, we need to I am some they're here to help our species to propel us forward in space. They say that we're running out of room here on Earth from our population overgrowth. And they're saying that the solution isn't to kill off our species the way that we have been on Earth with these space wars, land divisions, water divisions. It's true, we've been fighting over water, fighting over diesel and gas, and literally we've been fighting over non-renewable resources, and there's more in space. That's a secret that you don't know about, but there's more in space. And the truth is, there's a lot of natural resources in space, and we can just simply move there and start over and just take less and use less and use less resources, less water, less of everything, and simply start over. And the Zatrons are here to help teach us how to use less and how to be more better species with greater intellect, use our brain capacity to its utmost capacity. A lot of us are running around using only 2% of our brains because we're just, what are we doing? Putting drugs in it that are causing us harm, taking the wrong medications that are harming us. And they're willing to teach us what medications to take, how to refrain from drug use, or to take less, or to not rely on the binary system, which is literally causes us to amputate our brains, basically, in the metaphysical sense. You know about the binary system. It's us versus them. Cause legions and wars, and to look at each other as if we're separate and others, even though we are all the same. We're from the same vital life source. We're created from Creator, and we shouldn't look at each other as separate. We should look at each other as one. And the Zatrons wish to help us. So we should work with the Zatrons. Ya Borisia Kwayani Sia Ambore Ania Shia Ambore Shia Sia Ambore Nia Suasia Ya Hambosia Sia Kumbaya Nia Nishia Sium Sivisia. And we should look at all species as one. All of us as one, and stop looking at each other as other, as one greater or better than each other when we are all the same. We are all capable of high frequency thoughts and high frequency feelings, and we're all capable of being the highest frequency, and that's the truth. And this inner clarity is because I'm omnipresent. And you can be omnipresent too. They came here today to assist with this transmission and to just share that there is a war brewing in space between the Martians, the Altoids, and the Zeltrons. And I'm so sorry it started because the United States has been brewing a war between Russia and China, but America doesn't want anything to do with it because they're too busy with their war, the one that we know about, the one in the Middle East, as they say, because of their special interests. It's going to take 30 years for this war to end, by the way. They keep saying it's going to end soon. The next president is going to close it off, and there's going to be peace, and Bernie Sanders is going to end it. Well, he doesn't have the type of power that he says he does. Every president is invested in these wars because of the amount of money that's coming out of it. And the Republican Party is secretly running the whole show. And if you don't believe that, there's just a lot of power coming from them right now. And there's not just an arms race, there's a prescription race and a prescription war. They'd like us to believe that they're running out of certain medications, and they're making certain medications obsolete, like the opioids. If there's an opioid crisis going on right now, where over half the country is on opioids right now. And then there's an Adderall crisis where they're running out of Adderall. 3/4 of the country is on Adderall right now. And you have to wonder, why are they running out of the medications that are highly not addictive per se, even though that's how they choose to portray them as, but reliant, where the human body becomes reliant on them, especially at higher dosages. And why is there an arms race and a prescription race around these medications, these pharmaceuticals? And why aren't the pharmaceutical companies saying anything? And why aren't the intellectuals coming out and saying anything? Why aren't the theorists coming out and saying anything? And why is it all being done hush hush behind closed doors? It's going to take 3 to 4 years in order for us to get a handle on this as a community, as a country, speaking for the United States, because I'm based in the United States. If you didn't know that, now you know that. I'm a channel of the light, which means I channel the light. And it's up to the pharmaceutical companies on what medications are running out. The next medication that's going to run out will be lorazepam, Valium, and Klonopin. Watch out for that. So please don't run out of your medications. Hold on to them. Don't flush them down the toilet. Don't throw them out during your next mental breakdown. And then it's going to be Seroquel and olanzapine. Because there is money to be made in global crises. Do you see where I'm going with this? If there is money to be made, it will be made. Hold on to your old prescription bottles. Don't throw them away. Even if they're 12 months old, hold on to them. Your empty prescription bottles. You need proof saying you've been taking your medication for 12 months. You're going to need it. Right now, their goal is to make everything into a controlled substance. So that way when you're driving and you get into an accident, you're under a controlled substance, because there's money to be made in the court systems. An accident, you get into a car accident, there's money to be made now. You go to the court systems now. You have a record now, because you're under a controlled substance. Even if you were taking it under the guidance of a physician, a psychiatrist, or a doctor, they don't care. You were under a controlled substance. That's all that matters. Your doctor doesn't work for you. They work for the military and the Navy. They get a cut in their check from the military and the Navy. They get a little extra something. Okay, they get a new car. They get extra on their dental. They get a nice fat meal. An extra fat check at the end of the... Sorry, I say fat like that because I love the word fat, and I used to be really big. I shouldn't say that anymore. So I will refrain from using that word. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I won't do it again. They get a little extra for being in the for working for the government and reporting on you and saying so and so drives from here to there and they take Ativan 3 times a day and they should only take it right before bed because I tell them to take it right before bed and for anxiety, but I tell them not to drive when they take it, and they still drive when they take it, and they still drive when they take it. So they're driving under the influence. And if they get into a car accident, well, then they go to the court systems. And I want them in the court systems because then I'll get an extra $30,000 just for them getting arrested and going to the court systems. Do you see where I'm going here? They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for themselves. They want that extra check. And that's why I'm warning you right now, because I don't want you in the court systems. Do you see where I'm going with this? I want you free. I want you free. I want you free. Because emancipation is about everyone being emancipated, or all of us being locked up. If no one is free, if one person isn't free, no one is free. Good job, good job, good job, good job. Sorry, my service animal did a really good job. They just finished their whole meal. Good job, good job, good job. I'm sick of see I don't put any machines here. No, she has to see I couldn't hear. Busem Simonsia, she was a conine, and honey, she says, I can see a more him, and if you're pro-ICE, you're pro-military, and you're pro-vasectomy against your will, against your rights. Yes, love, they give vasectomies in ICE. And they don't tell you, they say sign on the dotted line. They say this will get rid of your migraine. And they did this, by the way, in the 1970s to Puerto Rican women, black women, and African American women. They did it to women of color. And they did it to black men and African American men and Puerto Rican men. And they did it in Puerto Rico. Which is a U.S. territory, just so you know. You can move there and still receive SSI if you want to move there. You want to move to an island and still live in the United States and receive Social Security disability, move to Puerto Rico. But anyway, they did it up to 1978. They did vasectomies, irreversible, to anyone that had a migraine or had a slight health issue. And they didn't tell them what they were doing. Everyone was like only Spanish, and they did it to Haitians too. And they were only Spanish speaking, or they only spoke a different language, and all the documentation was in English. They didn't understand a word. And they had them sign on the dotted line. And they signed their whole life away, and they got these vasectomies that had these huge health repercussions and huge health issues, and a lot of them died during the surgery, by the way, and they ended up losing their life, and they lost their lives. They could never have children again. And they're still doing it to this day at the ICE camps, and you all still respect ICE, and I just can't believe it. Why do you respect ICE, and why do you respect the government? The government doesn't feed you, the government doesn't free you, the government doesn't care for you. And I keep saying it, none of you believe me, and I just wish you knew the truth. Baharin ang Yesu kay Sancho Seka Soka Mumahana say Samahina Hanane say. And it went on until the 1980s. 1978 is the latest that I can find research on it, but it went on until the 1980s. And I know this because I studied gender and women's studies at UC Berkeley, and I saw documentation. I researched this myself, okay? I saw this. There's proof. Just check the text. If you don't believe me, go research this. There's proof. There's proof, okay? Bisaya ko ni siya. So yun na kada bisaya siya sa nuko niya hinasya mabot. Siya ko rin siya mo siya mo mahanakya no kaya siya sambure siya mo siya kuya ni rire siya ko mumbaraka ya mo siya ni hore sam suya ko bure siya ko rin ya ni hina siya amba.
And I've been wanting to share all this for so long, but I haven't had the mind to share this until today, because I've been suffering from extreme brain damage because of the military and the FBI and the CIA and the police force. They've been attacking me viscerally, and police brutality, and I'm really a victim survivor of police brutality, and everything I share is true. And when I share those photos of myself, like with my butt, those were actually marks and scars of police brutality. It was actually real, and if you looked at them, you would have seen scars and marks from being attacked and being shoved underneath, and having to shove myself underneath my bed to escape the police force and the Navy and the Army. And this is today, Korean Shia so Murray Kani Chia so Korea and Ambarasia Korea and Sia Mura and Muhammad Korea. They've given me cancer 4,100,000 times. Embassy issues, the outcome, and the issues, the Korean, and the ambassadors, the Korean, and the annuals, ambassador, Korean, and the ambassador, Korean, and the ya musia chia Korean, musia chia combiani and chia ombore and ya boy chia ambusia koyani na sia home mama bia ka sia zoya and sia chia ya ombore sia rohe and chia koni and na chia sambusia ka. I woke up one morning and I had a torn meniscus. They tore my meniscus. I woke up another morning and they completely slaughtered the arteries in my eyes, my corneas, my right and my left. Their goal to make me totally blind in both eyes, so I can no longer create, I can no longer heal, and I just become a hardship on those that love me. And I already have a mental impairment that's so debilitating that I'm in the mental hospital multiple times a year, and it's already a hardship for my beloved. Imagine what it would be like if I were blind. I've already been through paralysis before. I was paralyzed from the neck, from the waist down. I never told you the story, but I was paralyzed from the waist down, and I couldn't move and I couldn't speak. And when I tried to speak, it came out in sounds. I didn't have star codes or light codes at this time. And this happened earlier this year, back in February. And so I used to wear really slippery pants, like leggings, really slippery leggings. And I had hardwood floors. And so I used to just pull myself with my arms. I had really strong arms from Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu and boxing, which I still do all that. And I just pull my weight with my arms. I'd use them kind of like skis. When you ski, you just pull them back. I'd pull them back, and I'd slide across the flooring, and I'd slide from one room to the other. I'd go into the fridge, I'd eat something vegan, and I'd go to another room, I'd slide to another room. I had one dog with me, one service animal. She'd watch over me and make sure nothing bad would happen to me. And I just slide from room to room, but I completely paralyzed from the waist down. My only God was the beloved, and I would pray to the beloved, 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 the beloved. I'd pray to the beloved, and Michael would come home and he would help me around the house, but it was really, really hard. And I would just slide from room to room, and then to use the bathroom, I would climb up to the toilet, and I have to lift myself up off the ground with my hands. So you could imagine it was very, very difficult. And eventually I just kept praying, and I was Rastafarian. So I'd pray to my Rastafarian God. I won't reveal the name, because this name came to me deep in meditation, very deep in meditation, and I'm not sure if this God is known. And this God, he decided to heal me one day. Said, "You're not evil, you're a good person," and decided to heal me all of a sudden. It was when someone was trying to break into the apartment I was at. And or that's what I thought. I thought the apartment was getting broken into. I'm not sure totally what was happening, because I had fragmentation of thoughts, since I wasn't actually seeing a psychiatrist, but I was still taking psych meds. They were giving me psych meds, but they weren't allowing me to see a psychiatrist. I was being discriminated against by the psychiatrists in my town, so they wouldn't let me see anyone. So, in body get cheers, ya queen, ya man, the cheers, ya so gay, ya Korean, and cheers, ya Korea, ya Korea, Miss Yas, ya Korea. So all of a sudden, I told my story. I told my story to a nurse on the phone. And the next day, I started walking again. This is exactly what happened. I thought I was dying. My heart rate slowed down to a very slow heartbeat. My God told me, text your mom a voice memo, I'll allow you to speak. So I texted my mama, a voice memo, telling her that my younger sister is going to cook amazing things in the oven. She's a genius, the smartest one in the world. And then I said, my eldest sister is gonna save the world, and my elder brother is saving lives, and something else about my parents. I'm gonna keep that a secret. All of a sudden, my heart rate returned, but I said it in fragmented words. It didn't come out completely legibly, but the fact that speech returned to me was a really big deal, because I couldn't even speak then. All of a sudden, I started walking. I had strength in my legs. It came back like immediately. It wasn't slow, it was fast. All of a sudden, I could walk. I had movement in my legs and I could walk. And so I started walking again. And then speech returned and I could speak again. And that's how I started walking again. And that's how I started talking again. So I've been a paraplegic before, and I told Michael, told him, if I stayed a paraplegic, I would have done I would have competed in sports, because it was fun. It wasn't fun, but it was, having arms that moved felt so amazing. I wanted them to move all the time. I don't know how to describe it. that's just how it felt, okay? I don't know how else to describe it. Maybe you understand, maybe you don't. It was the hardest time of my life, though. Really, it was. And to know at any moment it could all end, because the lifespan shortens when you're severely disabled. It just does. I didn't tell anyone. I kept it a secret. I didn't want to worry anyone. That's just how Sagittarians are. We don't want to worry people. We keep things a secret. Amboye bahana nankia nasare. Ambushe shakana shania shashane. Iyana nahana na no se sayako. Ambaharahane yani sasake.